This news alert brought to you by Casarina All Sports Club. All your entertainment under one roof.
Good evening, I'm Zarisha Bradley with your 9 local news update. The Chief Minister is firm on opening borders come July 17, but he's warning hotspot travellers that flout the rules, they could face 3 years jail. 12 infringements just this week, breaking quarantine requirements across the territory, a heightening trend. One couple caught on a sunset cruise, the most alarming, a woman who's understood to be a Commonwealth employee straight from Melbourne's coronavirus hotspot.
Who then turned up in Nooka and commenced work in the community store there. That behaviour is absolutely appalling.
It's not only disappointing, it's reckless.
It's why the Northern Land Council doesn't want interstate travellers until there's no community transmission across Australia.
The borders need to stay closed.
I get it, it worries me too.
But the Chief Minister still isn't budging, holding firm on his July 17 reopening date.
We can't stay shut forever. If or when Corona comes back to the territory, we will jump on it and we will smash it.
Mr Gunner willing to launch an AUSMAT-style suburb lockdown if an interstater brings the virus in.
If that means locking down Parap, we will lock down Parap.
From July 17, everyone is welcome here except overseas travellers and those who have been to nationally listed hotspot zones.
You will be required to self-quarantine for 14 days in a regional centre and at your own cost. It is probable that some, or even most, of the current hotspots will be under control by the 17th. It is possible that there'll be new hotspots that emerge in other parts of Australia.
Everyone will need to sign a statutory declaration, and if you're caught lying, you'll face 3 years jail or a fine of up to $47,000. Zarisha Bradley, 9 News. A former Territory politician says the out-of-home care system has failed the vulnerable Aboriginal children. It follows abuse allegations against 2 foster carers over a 16-year period.
The allegations date back to 2004 and centre around 2 foster carers in Central Australia. And this isn't the first time concerns have been raised about the Territory's out-of-home care system.
I was saddened to read that report and to see what had been tabled in Parliament.
Former politician Marion Scrimger says serious reform was implemented during her time in Parliament, but the system is still failing Aboriginal children.
I think it's just easy for the department to grab these kids, stick them into foster care, a completely alien system, and ignore the fundamental failures that are in that system.
The report also found police had failed to investigate an allegation of sexual abuse because it was never reported to the Child Protection Task Force in the first place. And records were never kept of vulnerable children in care.
What I'm very keen to understand is why things had failed and ensuring that the system we're building into the future mitigates that.
The government says it's accepted all 14 of the report's recommendations, but wouldn't explain why the 2 carers at the centre of the allegations are still accredited and, remarkably, still have 2 children in their care.
We will continue to do everything we can to keep Territory kids safe, and we'll keep trying to do better.
Ainsley Kosh, 9 News.
Thank you for joining us. We'll have more news shortly. To stay up to date, follow 9 News Darwin on Facebook.
It's been a monumental week for Queensland news delivery. Community